the Man Cave Podcast with Dan and D.
I'm Dan.
And I'm D.
Hey, we'd like to welcome you all back for a segment. We're going to review some games from last weekend. It is Wednesday, December 22nd.
That it is.
Oh, December 2nd.
You said 22nd.
I did. Anyways, hey, we had some good games, man.
We had some okay ones.
We'll start with the
We'll start with the Browns and the Jags.
Beer we go, Brownies.
The beer we go. So it was 27-25. The Browns barely squeaked past the Jags.
They did. Baker, 19 for 29, 258, 2 touchdowns, also sacked twice.
He actually had some touchdowns this game.
He did. His first touchdown, since the Bengals.
Landry was a 5-yarder, and he also ended up hitting Hooper. But he had some decent touchdown passes and, some decent looking passes.
Yep.
Granted, it was the Jags. But, after they got off to a slow start, they had 3 scoring drives, as I already alluded to. And at half, it was 17-13. The Browns, they're the Browns, but, they're starting to look better. I know that the last couple weeks they've been playing in real, crappy weather up there.
And you know what saved them? The run game.
The run game.
And that defense has been okay.
The defense has been pretty good. They're able to get some pressure with people like Myles Garrett and
Which if he's back against the Titans, then they're going to freaking need him because Derrick Henry's coming.
Derrick Henry's a beast.
He's coming.
But he didn't really turn over the ball. The one turnover that they really had that kind of hurt them and allowed the Jags to start to get back with that touchdown pass to Tyler Eifert, the former Bengal. It was a turnover from.
He was hurt all the time. We didn't need him.
That's why he got a sample, right?
Yeah,
a sample.
Eifert was our sample. Now we have an actual sample.
There it is, man. you can't be mad about that. But they went for it on 4th down with a play action to Robinson, and then Glennon threw that touchdown pass. And if they would have actually kicked some extra points, it would have probably went into overtime. Because Baker, I don't know what's going on with him, man. Like, as I was talking to you about earlier, I don't like that when they get into the red zone, it's hard for him to really hit passes to the tight ends and, all the weapons he has around him, like Landry and Higgins and stuff.
Before this game, Landry was averaging 3 catches a game. And Odell's been out for way longer than that.
Well, they have been playing in some really crappy weather. I will say that because, as we know, living here in Ohio... The weather up there in Cleveland is absolutely ugly. They get that lake effect and everything.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, Baker did his thing. Like I said, 258 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Missed a bunch of, he could have probably had 2 more touchdowns.
He could have.
Overthrows in the red zone, once again, like you said.
He would have had a better pass completion, too, if he would actually have hit those. He overthrew Landry really big. He completely overthrew Hooper.
And we obviously know who the star for Jacksonville is. It's Robinson, man. He saved y'all's asses. 22 rushes, 128 yards, a touchdown, 5 catches, 31 yards.
Fields to Jacksonville. Fields to Jacksonville. They're probably going to get the number 2 pick. And I think they're going to go with Fields. You have to.
You're kind of dumb not to at this point. Absolutely.
You have to. But I think that with the Browns, they drafted a really good tackle. They picked up one in free agency, and they got Hooper. And then, in my opinion also, with a decent quarterback, I think that the Jags would have probably won this game. I think so. Glennon looked okay for somebody who really hasn't played.
It's because his wife and kids were there. He made a point to show it several times that his wife and kids were there. She's gorgeous.
The camera loved her. But I want to see Baker for one more year under Stefanski and see if he gets better. Because last year, they were 10th in pass attempts. This year, they're 26th. I know, as we've already said a few times, The weather has made it really hard for them to be able to throw the ball. And, the weather here over the past couple weeks has been really ugly come Sunday, wherever they play at, whether it be in New England, it be there, it be, there in Cincinnati. It's been ugly. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think the biggest thing to take away from this game,
you did get the W. You are the second in the AFC North.
You are, and you're 8-3, and you closed the game out in the fourth quarter. Not the way maybe you wanted to, but you did. And you win the game. You're 8-3 now. Now you get the Tennessee Titans. Good luck.
Oof. But we'll also see, because you've got a dynamic duo in that backfield with Chubb and Hunt. They've been looking amazing these past couple of weeks.
For sure, man. I think that's what's keeping the Browns alive. That run game, they have the best 1-2 punch running in the run game in the NFL, I believe.
Yeah. So, we'll go from one ugly Ohio performance to another ugly Ohio performance with the Giants versus the Bengals. I think that game would have been really entertaining with a Danny Dimes and Burrow both starting, but Danny Dimes was playing. He was looking really good. He had a really beautiful pass to Ingram, and that helped set up a 1-yard touchdown run from Gallum.
Ingram was their leading receiver.
Whatever.
5 catches, 129 yards.
And then what did you guys do? You guys came out with that kickoff return, 103 yards.
Wilson!
Brandon Wilson! Brandon Wilson!
Hey, man, Brandon Allen signed off the practice squad. 17 for 29.
That's the Hall of Fame.
136 yards. Didn't throw any picks. Didn't throw any touchdowns. Actually, he did throw one touchdown.
The Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer, Brandon Allen, for Who Day Cincinnati Bengals, baby. Yeah. Hey, we got a tie game at halftime. We got 10-10 at halftime.
Von Bell was looking amazing.
We got the field goal by the Giants in the second. Then we got 2 more by the Giants in the second. We got a late fourth quarter touchdown to Higgins.
I have to say it. Fat fucking Randy was making field goals. Danny Dimes was looking good again. He hit Ingram again for a really deep pass.
He was doing great until he busted his hamstring. I think he
pulled his hammy.
Pulled a hammy. Ham bone.
He even came back in and he tried to throw a pass, and he just was not getting anything off that back leg. So they had to put back in Colt McCoy. Colt
McCoy is still in the league, people.
Yeah, he started a couple games for the football team last year.
The football team.
But I mean, the Bengals tried everything. They even tried a fake field goal. They had it close. Yeah, there was that 5-yard touchdown pass to T. Higgins, and that's his 5th on the year.
Yep, it is.
5th on the year.
I think the biggest difference here in this is our defense. We can hang with anybody. It's the fact that our offense only had 100
no pass protection.
Bro, we had 155 total yards compared to the Giants, 386 yards.
Yeah, man, never.
And 2 turnovers, Bengals. Come on. Even if your quarterback plays terrible, no turnovers.
Your team's really interesting. I really like your guys' receiving core. I don't like your offensive line.
That's all we need.
What the hell is going on with Joe Mixon?
Dude, I don't know. Till he comes back, nobody knows.
I mean, dude,
at this point, the Bengals are not going anywhere. You want Burrow in there, you want to win games, you want to get as much experience under Burrow's belt as you can with Mixon in there, but with Mixon being hurt, Bengals not winning any games, now Burrow's out. I would keep Mixon until he's 100% healthy.
I agree because you guys can also get a high draft pick, and you can get more offensive line protection.
That's all we need. We need offensive linemen and corners.
Protection, and I think you guys need a better tight end. Sample is okay, but you only need samples of him throughout.
And he's a very small sample.
And he is a very small sample. Hey, but them, and I think that the Giants are a really interesting team too.
That whole division's interesting. There were 3-4 wins, and they're fighting for first place, people.
The Eagles still have a chance to take it. The Cowboys still have a chance to take it. But I mean, I like what they have with Daniel Jones. Whenever what is their running back? Saquon Barkley. Whenever he comes back, I think that he could do something. They need to get some protection up on that.
This is why you don't draft first-round running backs. You don't waste a first top 5
That
pick
is
on a running
hatred
back.
right there.
You don't do it?
Why would you say that?
Because the running backs that are showing out in the league right now, some of them are late first round picks, but the superstars are all getting hurt and shit. Look at Zeke, man. He was a superstar. Now what is he doing? Nothing.
Yeah, but, I mean, they got an old, beat-up offensive line, too. They were good They were good for about 2 years with him, and then they, whatever. But I don't think that drafting a high running back is an issue. I just think that if you don't have a quarterback, then yeah, you're not going to do anything. Because look at where the Giants have been for the past few years with Eli. With Eli. Eli wasn't doing nothing. You had Odell Beckham, who ended up going to Cleveland, but
Odell Beckham was the most utilized in his entire career when he was with Eli and the Giants.
I get that because he has a cannon.
Imagine Odell on the Packers. Imagine Odell on the Steelers. Imagine Odell on Kansas City.
Imagine Odell with the Ravens.
Imagine Odell with the
Ravens.
The Ravens. Or the Bengals.
You got enough wide receiver talent. You need offensive line. That's the same thing that they need. And you know what? They're actually utilizing what's his face from Meat Chicken pretty good. The dude
the safety, Peppers.
Jabril Peppers. I think he's all right. He was looking really good too.
Nah.
They're utilizing what they have, but they don't have enough to surround Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and that offense.
And I think
it's an offensive team. Their defense is trash.
All right, there's a lot of teams that are like that. Look at the Seahawks.
Look at the Chargers.
Look at the 3-8 Chargers at the 8-3 Bills.
A horrible defense.
27-17 Chargers pull that one out. Wow, turnovers.
The Bills pulled that out. The Bills won that game.
Oh, I did it wrong. I flipped the numbers, man.
You flipped the numbers.
I did. Bills 18 points in the fourth quarter to win that one. Man, that was my bad.
Yeah, they were. The thing is that the Bills came out strong. They took advantage of a pass interference call on Jenkins that where he basically tackled Stephon Diggs, and then Allen was able to hit Knox for that touchdown. And then Herbert came back. He was able to hit Allen for a touchdown. And then they missed an extra point. Widely. It was ugly. And that was 7-6.
His foot fell off.
Pat McAfee would have been really insulted with that.
He would have told him to kick rocks.
Probably. And then Cole Beasley came down and he hit that, who was that? I don't even know who it was. He hit Davis. That's what it was. Davis for his first career passing touchdown. Second week in a row that two different receivers completed touchdown passes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Broncos could have used that.
How about that? Yeah, they could have. But they had another receiver who was throwing throwing passes for them. You
got to realize, talk about throwing. The Chargers threw the Bills this win because they had three consecutive drives with turnovers. You got a Singletary fumble, you got an Allen muffing a snap, and then you got a pick.
Yeah.
And the Chargers, out of all three of those, 3 points.
That was what I was going to get to, but you jumped to me.
Oh, yeah.
They had some major issues, inconsistency, that's one of my issues with them. They're very inconsistent. You beat the Seahawks, you beat the Rams, you beat the Raiders, you beat the Pats, and you beat the Chargers. But, how do you go from having a 24-6 lead and then you only score a field goal?
Correct.
You only score a field goal? Like, you're very inconsistent. You come out, you mollywop these teams, and then
mollywop.
You lay a goose egg in the second half. Yeah, you won, but still, like, come on, man.
Hey, if you're the Chargers, you're at least happy to know that you got your quarterback. My underdog. Herbert.
Your underdog. Let's say this, okay? Swap teams. Do you think that Josh Allen would look as good as he has this year, playing for the Chargers?
No, I think he's good where he's at. I think it'd be the same kind of, it'd be kind of the same deal.
He'd be playing like he was, or I don't even think he would be playing as good as Herbert. Because they were saying him staying back for his 4th year in college helped him become a better leader. That's what they were saying.
I don't know. I think if they swapped, it'd be kind of the same situation. Neither one of them has like a super standout guy that's like, hey, you're superstar. Aside from the 2 quarterbacks themselves.
You're saying that Stephon Diggs is not good?
I mean, I think when you just said his name now is the first time I've heard his name in probably like 4 weeks.
Diggs?
Do you love Diggs?
No, I'm just saying, like, you're saying that Josh Allen doesn't have a standout guy. He's got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but it's not Tyreek Hill. It's not.
Nobody's Tyreek Hill.
It's not Metcalf.
Nobody's really Metcalf. But, I mean, he's still a solid piece. And, Cole Beasley has...
So do you think Herbert could throw the ball better to him than Allen?
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, I think that Herbert is way better than Josh Allen.
All right. I'm only going to second that because that's my underdog of the year. Watch episode 1.
I think that he wouldn't have came out and looked as shitty as Josh Allen did in the second half. I think it would have been 24-6, and then I think that it would have jumped up and been like maybe 45-17 if you switched the quarterbacks.
We should just do like a fantasy draft. All the teams are the exact same, but you could only switch quarterbacks. Let's put this guy over here, this guy over here, this guy over here. That would be fun.
You know what I think would have been really fun?
What's that?
If you would swap Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson and see what the fuck would end up happening with that.
Ravens would be even worse because Lamar Jackson's got wheels.
Exactly.
Hey, fun fact though, Herbert, my underdog. 2nd person ever to reach 3,000 yards in his first 10 games. First guy, Mohomes. Patrick Mohomes. NFL history.
Speaking of that, how about we go to that Chiefs and Buccaneers game?
Beautiful game. Best first quarter in the NFL I've seen in 2020.
See, that's your type of game. You love it when they do that. When it's Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. It was their show. Deep bombs, peace signs,
backflips.
And then you got a little feature of Travis Kelce getting a couple really key 3rd down plays. Dude, it was amazing in that first half.
17-0 after 1 quarter.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Mahomes was standing on Tampa's 15 and was holding the ball way too long, and then Shaq Barrett ended up coming over, blindsiding him, and boom, he fumbled that.
He did. His only flaw.
And
for the whole season.
For the whole season.
Actually, his 3rd flaw because he's got 2 picks.
Yeah, he threw a pick. Flaw. He threw a pick. And Tampa Buccaneers, they had 2 really big pass plays. The Tampa Brady's. And then they ended up sitting there, and he threw the ball out to Randall Jones, and he ended up running in that touchdown. I don't have the COVID. I promise.
We can't socially distance. Our camera's not big enough.
But at half, it was 20-7.
It was, man. It's one of the games that start out hot. Boom, 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 boom. Middle of the game's like, all right, cool. We got a good football game going on. And then 4th quarter, boom, 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 boom. But it was completely flipped the other way.
But the thing is that it was more of Mahomes and Hill, and they did like a little fake pitch, and Mahomes was running with the ball, and he got.
You cannot put Tyreek Hill in
a 17-yard run, and then there was a 21-yard pass to Hill for, I think it was a touchdown. But Mohomes was picked off on that, but there was some offsides that was called on Ndamukong Suh. And,
bro, isn't their D-line sick?
Who the Pat? Or
Tampa.
Tampa. I mean, why did I say that?
Their D-line is really good. They're like closet good. You don't hear a lot about them, man, but their D-line is closet good, man. They're big boys.
Because they just want to talk about Tom Brady all day long whenever it comes to the Buccaneers. But
well, and see, Tom Brady's not the problem. Let's clear that up.
Yes, he is.
I disagree.
Why?
I think it's the scheme they're running.
How many?
Tom Brady has thrown more long balls than any quarterback in the league. Tom Brady is 40 years old. That's not what he does. Tom Brady wins by throwing 10 yards. 2-step drop, throw. 1-step drop, throw. 3-step drop, throw. They got Tom Brady back there sitting there 4 or 5 seconds, bombing the ball downfield. He's got the most long balls in the NFL. That's not what Tom Brady does at this age. That's not the offense that Tampa Bay runs. Bruce Arians, you're great. Tom Brady, you're great. You guys do not match up well together. Damn.
Let me ask you a question. Okay?
I don't know the answer.
You know the answer. So, okay. Do you think that Bruce Arians was out there throwing the 2 interceptions that Tom Brady threw?
No, but how far downfield was the ball flying before it got picked off?
Well, let me say this, okay? How long has Tom Brady been in the NFL? Isn't it like 20 years?
I'll say
20 years.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you know better than to throw the ball when you're being sacked?
I mean, we thought Fields knows better too, but just bad decision.
Fields?
Oh, I'm just saying, making bad decisions. Justin Fields, we talked about this in an earlier segment. Tom Brady, yes. I will take a pick over a bad decision over a bad throw.
A pick is a bad throw.
I understand that. But why did you throw the pick?
Because you're being sacked and you think that you're slick.
So that happens what? Every once
Dude, it
in a while?
happened twice in this game. It happened twice in this game. Okay,
every time Tom Brady throws a pick, it's because he's throwing the ball down the field.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's not.
All right. I'm listening.
No, listen, okay. There was one where, let me see. Okay.
Man Cave Podcast.
Let's
December
see.
2nd.
Alright, there was one, I forget who it was, but somebody came off the side, and they were more or less just left open, and he's throwing the ball, and it gets picked off. And then there was another time...
That's because he's throwing it and doesn't realize it's on his blind side, and he's about to get hit.
There was another time... hold on, he was, it was Matthews that was in his face. The second one was Clark came unblocked, and he skipped the ball off of his lineman. Why are you skipping the ball off of your lineman?
He was trying to dead ball it.
But when you hit somebody, and it was either their helmet or their shoulder pad, what happens? The ball goes up in the air. And when the ball goes up in the air and you have nothing besides talent on the other side, they're NFL quality defensive players. Mm-hmm. The ball goes up in the air. What ends up happening?
It gets
like
picked.
50-50.
You got to think, though.
You get picked.
When he's throwing the ball down, he's trying to get the ball to hit and drop.
That's the stupidest thing ever.
Well, you also don't realize
just take
the angle of the dude's butt that you're throwing at, or his back. He might swing.
Just take the sack. Right. Why turn the ball over?
I totally understand that. He's trying to spike it at this point.
You got Patrick Mahomes coming on the other side. You got Tyreek Hill, who had, over 100 yards receiving in the first quarter?
He had over 200 in the first quarter.
He was doing backflips, throwing up peace signs.
Yep.
So you're going to allow them to come back out there. The only reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to even come back at all is because the Chiefs were more or less just being stupid.
Well, and Tom just started throwing the ball to Mike Evans.
Yeah, and you're getting the ball, you're getting close, okay? I think he finally ended up hitting Mike Evans twice for a touchdown in the second quarter, or in the
fourth quarter.
Half. It was in the second half. I didn't.
Yeah, both were in the fourth quarter. That was
and then
that was only. Yeah.
You got turnover, or Tampa used all their timeouts before the 2-minute warning. Why? Why?
I don't know.
That's the stupidest shit ever.
Made misreads, made bad play call. It could be anything.
I still want to see him in Bruce Arians' offense next year. I still want to see that. I want them to be able to have a whole off season for them to be able to develop it, just for Tom Brady to come out looking exactly like how he did this year. Like shit. Overrated. A system quarterback. My opinion. I don't give a fuck what you say. You can't come out, skip passes off of your linemen, and throwing while being sacked. With people in your face. You've been in the league for 20 years. If you're the greatest quarterback of all time, you can't be sitting there throwing the ball with pressure in your face. Just take the sack. You got a team that's coming out and throwing deep balls. Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. All game long.
Well,
all game long.
Because you can't single cover Tyreek Hill.
No, and that's exactly what they were doing.
He's the fastest dude in the league.
He is. Come on now, man. Like, the hell?
Hey, we'll see. I think, personally, the Buccaneers will probably be in the playoffs. Are they a Super Bowl team?
No.
They're not.
No.
But, you know what?
You're not even the best team in your conference. The Saints are.
Even without Breeze?
You got beat twice.
Even without Breeze?
Yes. Breeze will be back.
He will. Hey, we love y'all. We're going to be back with everyone's favorite segment and our picks for the week, Badass or Bust.
But like, subscribe.
Follow us on Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
We'll be back.